In this video, I'll be going over how I coloured this whale shark page in Kerby Rosanes Fragile World. Hi, I'm Liv and this is Colouring with Liv. So as I wanted to work with watercolour, I thought the easiest way to do this was to use a mask. So here I'm using a liquid mask by Sennelier. Ideally, you want to shake it up and do a little practice run on a piece of paper first so you don't get that initial spludge. Also, the mask comes out really quickly, so if you're not used to using it, then practicing it on a piece of paper or in your sketchbook or even at the back of this colouring book is the best way to go about trying to use a mask before applying it. And then once the mask is all dry, that's when you can go in with your watercolour. So I wanted to use a lighter layer of blue to begin with and then work in more pigment to make that blue darker. So I was trying to use just the one colour of blue here. So here I'm using the Sennelier blue, primary blue, number 326 or 326, and for the whale I used the Payne's Grey in 703 or 703. And for the finishing touches for the whale, I also used some Polychromos pencils. So I used a little bit of cream and a pinkish pink for the lips. So yeah, so once I put this grey on top, then once I remove the mask, you will see those white dots appear. So whale shark is very dotty, and I thought the best way to do that was actually to mask those areas. So the masking did take a little bit of time, but it was worth it in the end because it just makes the whole process of watercolouring everything a lot more faster and easier. And then for this bit, I noticed a couple of other colourists painting this section darker, almost like a whirlpool effect. So I also wanted to make the whale shark appear that it came from the depths of below. So that's what I was trying to do here as well. I was trying to make that kind of whirlpool effect, so that darker circle and just work that blue up. And by mistake, I found out this technique of using a dry brush on the watercolour. So I was trying to create a direction of the water. So you can see the fish running away from the whale shark, and also I wanted the blue not to look so flat. So that's why I added a kind of lighter layer first, so it's just easier to create depth to my painting by putting the darker colour on top. So yeah, I was quite happy with how this turned out, and I could have gone a little bit further using different colours, but I just wanted to see how this looked like by just using that one colour. And once the watercolour is dry, that's when you can go in and remove the mask. So I just used my finger to remove the mask, but you can also use an eraser. So apparently there's a special eraser that you can use to remove masks like this that I learned from Neko Semi Coloring. So I'll put a link to her video in the description below. And for the fish, I used watercolour pencils, half pan watercolour and oil pastel, and a little bit of yellow Posca pen as well for the highlights. So I used my Museum Aquarelle watercolour pencils, but you can use any watercolour pencils that you have. And what I should have done is made the colour a little bit more intense, because usually a little goes a long way, but not this time. So that's why I ended up adding those extra layers of the half pan watercolour and the oil pastel afterwards. So after I added the water in, I realised it's not bright enough, it's not intense enough. And yeah, so I wanted the colour to have a kind of orange and blue contrast, but I didn't want the orange to be completely flat. So that's why I had a little bit of yellow, orange and blue for the fish. So once I added all my watercolour pencil, now I just added a little bit of water to activate that colour. So I just used my Zero watercolour brush by Raphael. And I liked how the blue kind of ended up a little bit greenish or a different type of blue. It came up quite nicely. It was like not on purpose, but yeah, I liked how it turned out. And at this point I'm adding in a little bit of the half pan, so some orange but also a little bit of yellow so that it doesn't stick out so much and it kind of blends with the yellow easily. So it has that nice blend there. And also the yellow is a little bit more intensified at that point, but I didn't touch the blue. So the blue at this point is all the watercolour pencil. And because I felt like the orange wasn't intense enough, I added some orange oil pastel. And yeah, so just to smooth this down, I added a dry brush or a little bit of odorless mineral spirit, which is also by Sennelier. And yeah, and don't forget the yellow Posca pen as well, which hasn't been recorded, but I did use that on little bits, not all over, but just here and there. So yeah, I hope you like this video. If you found it in any way helpful or you just like the colouring, then give this a like, a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.